So, before I start, of course everybody would have heard about Agentic AI. Yeah? How many of you have tried out Agentic AI? Nice, that's great. And Gen AI, how many have tried out Gen AI using tools which have Gen AI in them? Lovely. Okay, so the first statement I want to make is AI is not equal to Gen AI, right? Everybody loves Gen AI is great. Gen AI is part of the picture always. But AI has gone well beyond that. What do I mean by that? So we started here, right, with ChatGPT and text. It could read text, it could write text. It was great at that. We all have tried writing a poem or an email using ChatGPT. And then ChatGPT and many other models became multimodal, right? Suddenly you could generate video, music, all sorts of great things. So content generation seemed to be what we were doing all over here, right? But where we are today, it's gone well beyond that as well, right? AI is moving at a very, very quick pace. And what we are talking about now is it can think, it can plan, and then it can execute that plan. That fundamentally is what I'm going to focus on today, right? So, if you so you all would be using some of these tools, and all of them are adding AI features. Yes. So, one hope I keep hearing is that one use of AI is because all our platforms that we use, and there are so many more. I've just put up a random bunch. We'll be adding AI features, so we will get AI through the platforms that we have, right? Of course you will. And maybe that's the first step. But fundamentally, what you're seeing is this, right? New, improved, it's features added onto existing software. This is not AI native software that you will get access to through most of these tools. Some of them will rebuild, but most of them won't. What does that mean? It means that you're still following fundamentally a workflow, and that workflow somewhat improves, becomes easier, better, outputs become better, you get better outcomes out of it because there is AI features. That's a great way to use AI, of course. But is it enough? So that's the really, as marketers, what we need to be looking at. It is how can we leverage AI to its fullest? How can we really use it to make a difference in our lives? Because it will make a difference. And marketing is the function it's impacting the most. So the question really is, how do we move to an AI-first thought process? So what I want you to focus on and think about is that AI is not just a feature. It's a revolution. It's a reconstruction. It's fully starting from zero at one level. Why? Because your workflows can fully move into AI. There are no tools which will do everything all at once for you, much like you would have some large marketing tools which take large part of your journey today. But that's where it's evolving to, right? And if you join this revolution, that's really where the impact is to your business. And what do I mean by that? So instead of content, look at how AI can generate campaigns for you. The entire campaign, not just the content, but firstly, what content to produce the content, place it. If it's an ad, figure out which channel, which site, which product to advertise, and then improve that to make sure your conversions are higher, right? If it's analytics, it's not just telling you what is wrong or what is working and what is not working, but actually helping you fix and make things better, right? In the end of the day, the key power of AI comes not only from the fact that it can give you great content, right? Everybody's used it for content creation. But I think that's a very limited view of AI. What agentic AI is allowing you to do is execute the understanding. It's like a virtual employee, right? Which can deliver for you outcomes. Until you start thinking of, so instead of just adding more people to teams, think of adding virtual employees. That's what I mean by agentic AI. To me, agentic AI will allow you to give work to AI, and AI will do the work for you. Of course, you'll always be in charge. You must be in charge. But it's a loop in which it's you and AI working together, not um, just giving it one small little content generation or email optimization task, but entire workflows, right? And I'll give you some examples of this, right? So, and just by the way, only one of these is a portfolio company of mine, given that I invest in startups. But these are startups I met recently. And I've just put up some recent one. If you really go and look at what all is happening in AI in marketing, there's a ton of stuff out there, right? Quanticus does what I was describing earlier, which is helps you figure out what your competition is doing, helps you understand what kind of searches are happening, and thus pick from your catalog which product should you advertise. And then build those ads and build multiple versions of those ads. Then place those ads. Then do A-B testing automatically against all the versions it itself created, take down the ones that didn't work, do the ones that worked. This is an entire workflow. This is like 5, 6 people doing the work, right? Today, that's how it would be done. It's a one tool which is working on it. Will it work magic? To some degree, yes. But of course, you'll have to tune it. You'll have to figure out where it works, which categories it works for, what are the inputs it needs to produce great work. But that's an example of how an entire workflow is moving to AI. Flowworks, this does more on the B2B side, right? It's designed to help you generate leads. What do I mean by that? You describe an ICP, an ideal customer profile. Flowworks will go out there, firstly build you a list of people matching that profile. Then it will go research those people on social media, on LinkedIn, on general media, and figure out what have they been talking about, what do they care about, and then write a personalized email promoting your product in the context of their lives, right? It produces 8x the kind of output a human lead generation guy would do on the same list. It's a crazy number. A, it works 24/7. B, it has no limitations of the number of data points it can actually go look at. And after that, and because of that partly, it goes and produces 8x the returns. And it also handles objections. So it sends out a mail, you reply back saying something or the other, it will handle that objection. And ultimately generate 7 to 8 times the leads. It's a new way for businesses to really grow much faster. And that is clearly the key story here, right? AI helping you grow much faster. Different examples, Spike, this is more on website optimization. It looks at all your analytics, all your data around your web traffic, what pages there are, where is the follow-up, where is the eye tracking going. It takes all the data you can throw at it, and then figures out what content on your site is, how should the page look? What should be the sequence of content? What content should be on it? If content needs to be rewritten, images need to be changed. It does all of that. And it, again, generates that content for you and gives it back to you with that. So this is not just about giving you analysis that this is working and this is not. This is about doing the work of optimizing your website for higher conversion rates. So to my mind, this thought process is the key change you all need to make, right? If you start thinking that we can get to outcomes, and these are measurable outcomes from day one, right? That's where the ROI, it's, I mean, you would have read on media also that AI projects don't go into production. There are problems with AI. Yes, there are, right? But what I'm telling you also are actual facts. What I mean by that is, if you go try to build your own custom AI, it takes longer, it takes effort, and of course, it's a worthy effort for organizations to do when they're large enough and they are rich enough to do that. But what you will get through using tools like this, which are targeted at certain workflows, is real measurable ROI on day one. If you get more leads, it's something you can count. This is not ROI which requires you to first customize the tool, train your team, and after 6 months measure productivity in some way. No. This ROI happens on day one. And that's a big change, which means companies that adopt it will move faster immediately, right? And that's something worth thinking about. So that's primarily what I want to talk about, and this is my suggestion on what are the ways you all can look at adopting some of these tools. So first is just getting awareness of the tools. Of course, start with AI features within the tool set you're already using. But then quickly migrate to taking workflows, some simple workflows, right? And finding tools which automate those workflows. And then go for hiring your first virtual employee. You'll find you'll be hiring many more virtual employees very, very quickly. And you will then discover that you need to make changes to your org structure, right? Because the old org structure had a certain flow of work. It was designed for a certain flow of work. Now this org structure changes because some of the things are kind of happening auto-magically, as I would say, right? So, but it's not going to be perfect, right? So you need better guardrails. You need to look at the data. You can't be fully dependent on AI. So all of this requires changes to how you put in the guardrails and the org structure around it to manage all your virtual. They need to be managed. They're not some super employees, right? They will make mistakes. They have all the problems you have today. Yeah, they do show up for work every day, all the time, but apart from that, they may have other problems. So need to be managed. So that's the message from me. Happy to take questions. Sure, sure.
Domains or industries.
Sorry?
Given that you invest in a lot of AI startups, right? It's AI-focused venture fund, right? What's the major theme that you have seen successful in terms of AI, from pilot to production? Because that's, I think, a major challenge, right, with the AI companies.
No, so that is what I was trying to say. So there are two, I'll put AI into two buckets, right? One is enterprise AI, where large enterprises are taking their data and building out custom AI models and custom AI for their workflows, their data. And the other is this AI SaaS companies, which are building tools, like the three I showed you, and selling it into enterprises. I'm mostly in the second category, right? Though I have companies which support the first also, but the second is the bigger piece. Here, because they are AI native guys, that's our strategy, by the way, that we look for AI builders and not just anybody. They are able to build these tools much better. And these tools are working. We've seen revenues go like into a J-curve very, very quickly, which is the best metric to understand that AI is delivering value, because their customers, they're adding more customers and the same customers are paying more money. That's how you end up with the J-curve. So going from hitting 1 million revenues within 6 months of launch, unheard of. See, and this is in India. I'm not talking globally. The companies globally which are doing 100 million within 2 years of birth, that's again unheard of historically in all of venture and startup world. So it's setting new records because it's delivering value faster. And that's what you should look at as marketers. Ma'am, you want to give her the mic?
Thank you. Rahul, my name is Dipali. Two questions. One is I would like to know more about Flowworks. So if there's no other question from anyone, you can tell me more. What I want to understand is how many clients do they already have, and what size of businesses and what kind of businesses are they being successful at? And of course, how to get in touch with them. The second question that I have is, you just explained, it's a follow-up question, that you're more interested in businesses which are doing enterprise-grade AI platforms, Within that, there are two kinds of companies. What is primarily 80% all AI, the kind of company which is Flowworks. And there's another example that I want to share. I've invested in a company which works in the publishing business, has created a full workflow and a system for publishing. And let's say Gen AI based automation is 20 or 30% of the overall workflow that they have automated. What is your opinion on those, and what's your interest in that?
So second one I'll take offline. Happy to do that. I'll go back to Flowworks. So what these guys have done is, so this is one of those companies that has gone from zero to, I won't give you the exact figure, but very.
Incidentally, I also want to show off. Incidentally, the company that I'm talking about that I've invested in, pretty similar story, and yet only in India.
Lovely. Though these guys are both India and US, they more largely focus today on SaaS companies. Most of their customers are SaaS companies, but they do any kind of B2B, right? Largely, you'll do better in categories where the people are digital. I mean, they have digital presence. If you go for industries where the buyer doesn't have any digital presence, you won't have much use out of Flowworks. And by the way, that's a limitation you'll face, right? You'll find that most of AI will do great in categories and where the customer is already digital. Please go ahead. And just say your name before you ask me the question.
Thank you. Hi, sir. My name is Kishlay. Okay. So basically, as you mentioned, since you lie in the second bucket where you are more interested towards investing in these AI-based applications, which are solving a purpose or a problem, we also have created an AI-based application which works for analytics and precisely solving the problem of reports as a solution, right? So report and report study is a very important disciplinary thing that would definitely enable any enterprise. So my question to you is, currently, as you mentioned, since you help these startups to scale, currently, do you help them only in terms of funding, or do you incubate them in the process structure of how to reach out to these enterprises and create these, let's say, first 100 clients as well?
So to answer the second part of your question, we help, right? We help, but you have to have product before we come in. We come in at the stage, the product works, right? You have some proof that the product works. Not a paying customer, but at least the product which somebody is using or trying out, right? But coming back to feedback on your business, see what I'm trying to say here, and this is important to see the key pieces. Executing workflows and delivering outcomes, right? The difference between, and actually that's what I was trying to say. I don't want to stop at analytics. Reports is fundamentally in that bucket. You have to go, what is your report saying? Go do it. Correct. Figure it out. The point really is the needle only move. We've had great reports for many, many years. Of course, yours may be better. I'm not trying to say that. But try and understand, the key problem was consumption of dashboards requires the user to do work. You've done the crunching. You've crunched the numbers. You've understood what's the problem, what needs to be done, what is the solution. Then go implement it.
See, absolutely, sir. See, auto-inciting is something which is definitely on our roadmap and for any other company.
Let's do this offline, right? Because I don't think this is off.
Perfect. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you so much.